So let's talk about Maradona. So I think it's sort of blending here because I'm sure Maradona is obviously it's more of your generation. I'm sure your big brothers have told you stories
Yeah.
of everything. So here's what I think. So when Maradona died, I put in a text to my brother, and my brother said, Football just died." I was like, "What?" My brother
That's
said,
a
"Yeah,
that's a bit
yeah."
dramatic,
He said
but
football is dead because he was like Maradona represented the last thing about this. The kind of thing about Maradona is if you understand football, football is many different elements. So a lot of people focus on the talent, the skill, and everything. But there's another part of aspect of football, which is what we love it so much. It's the passion.
yeah.
It is the desire. Like, so I'm sure. So do you remember? So qualification for the 2010 World Cup, and I can't remember who Argentina were playing, and it was a game in the rain, and I think Martin Palermo scored a goal like in the very last minute to help Argentina qualify for the World Cup. And then Maradona pretty much he basically slid in the mud, fully in the mud in
Oh,
the
I
rain, just going
remember
crazy.
that. I
And I
could look
was
that one
like,
up.
yeah. And I was like, look, this guy, if you opened his body, football is literally inside his soul.
Yeah.
It is literally inside his body and his soul. And what Maradona represented was the skill, the dribbling, the flair, the lala, but also is this guy he cared so damn much. And
Yeah.
beyond that, what is the most famous Maradona video? Life is life. So Napoli, like a training thing, and it's him just doing KP ups.
Yep.
And what many people say is, forgetting is the stuff this guy used to do in training the kinds of things that he just used to do was insane. There's like a black and white video when he's like very young in the streets, where I think it's like an orange or something,
Yeah.
and it's just keep you up. So just at the very core, there is a purity about football that he represents within him, which is why that whenever I just look at Maradona's grace, and even just to go to your jersey there. So 94 World Cup, this was our very first World Cup, and I'm wearing the jersey. So this was our 94 World Cup jersey. And we were about to play Argentina. And I'm super young. And guys were saying that, bro, do you know who's playing? Man, Maradona's playing. I was like, who's this Maradona guy? And all of my uncles were like, my God, it's Maradona. And do you know what the thing was? Apparently, all of our players were scared of Maradona
Mm.
because he was such a mythical figure.
Yep.
There was so much around him that all of our players, our first World Cup, and like, bro, we are playing Maradona. And you could see, if you watch the game, you could just see how fearful we were of him. And I'm just not sure whether we still have that kind of aura around that kind of a player like Maradona. So talk to me. So your from your view of somebody who's younger, how do you view Maradona?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I didn't get to witness Maradona, but talking to people much older than me who have got to witness him, he was a larger than life type of figure. Even my own mother tells me like Maradona was just like this figure that you either loved him or you hate him, and he was the rebel. He went against everything, but people loved him for that, right? Um, but there's no denying that when you're talking about the footballing gods, like he's definitely one of the chosen one, right?
Mm.
With through the good and bad, the good moments, the bad moments, the disciplinary issues, the drug failures, but the World Cup glory and the Napoli success he had. To me, like when I think of older players, I don't tend to count statistics, especially more so guys who are not strikers, because some of the striking statistics we see of guys pre like 1970, 1980s, they're like mythical. They're not even real. Shout out Dixie
Jimmy
Dean.
Jones, baby. Biker, what up, baby?
These guys are averaging like 3 goals a game. So, Maradona, what can you like when I think of the number 10? Obviously, you think of Pele, but not like Maradona, like Argentina number 10. I hate to say, but as much as Messi has made it famous, like it is more symbiotic with Maradona more than anything, especially the
Mm,
Argentine one. I think Messi's
mm.
number 10, like the icon behind him is more so Barcelona than Argentina.
Yes,
But
yes, yes, yes.
I don't want to sell it short. I mean, like the next up guy was Messi, but
Mm.
I mean, he meant more than football, especially to Argentines. He was a way of life. Like the guy was deified. Like when you reach a
Mm,
level of deification, like that's insane.
yeah.
At the end of the day, it is sports, and it's irrational sometimes the amount of love people have for this game. And I think Maradona personifies that. He embodies that. Like I said, he's larger than life.
Okay, so let's get into it right now. So my thing here is why these things are difficult, but we're still going to do it because I love arguing and I love debating because it is what it is generations. I'm looking at different generations. So I think once Messi clinched that World Cup, guys were like, all right, that's it. Let's get that Coke addict, that freaking white stuff addict out of there, bro.
Pack him up, pack
Yeah,
him up.
pack him up. We're done with that dude. And for what I was like, okay, look, Messi, he's completed football. He's done everything. There's nothing that left to be said. But then I was just thinking and thinking and thinking, and I was like, it's almost like, what is greatness? And what does it mean to be great? And you even said something that's very key. Now, we don't know what Houdini thought that Messi is not going to do next year at the World Cup. Because if he just goes crazy next year in Trump country, who knows what will be said. But as of right now, as you just said, Messi will be known more for Barcelona than Argentina.
Yeah,
And Messi's greatest moments are in that Barcelona jersey. But here's my fastball. And then let me see whether you can return my fastball. I think Maradona has a two flex because for Argentina, it's the '86 World Cup, and I'm gonna cook you on that '86 World Cup, bro.
understood.
That's my into the whole. Is '86 World Cup, but upon that, it's Napoli. Now, people will say, sorry, how the Napoli thing no longer works based off of them winning it recently and them now actually being in a tight race with Atalanta and Juventus. But here's my retort to that. When Maradona won that with Napoli, Serie was the strongest league in Europe and one of the strongest leagues in the world. This is late 80s, early 90s. This ever since Calciopoli, shout out to my boy Luciano Moggi, Serie has not been the same. So when Napoli won it, it is a much weaker Serie and a much weaker league. So that even puts into effect just what Maradona was able to do. And my argument for Maradona in this of the generation is he was the quintessential floor raiser
Yeah,
because he was the guy that gave me a bunch of fruit sellers, gave me a bunch of bombs from the road, and I can take them to the promised land. Because when you look at what he did with Napoli and what he did with Argentina, these are average teams that a special player touched by the football gods came in and took them to the next plateau. And my thing is, and then I'll give it over to you, is when the Argentina team was not that great, I don't think Messi was able to define them. Now he had those moments, like the I can't remember the team. I don't know whether I think it was Ecuador when Argentina needed something and he dropped a three-piece in the qualification game. I think it was against Ecuador. So he does have those moments. But 2014 was like, bro, okay, Messi, do something, help us against the promised land, and he froze. But when you look at this run of Copa America now, and Ricardo, you've said this, so you're on the record saying this. This is an amazing Argentina team. I'll go one step further. This is the best generation. Now, I think that the '06 is close because that '06 team was amazing. And I was just watching some clips of Ray Kelme today. But these guys from the Copa American team are amazing. So that's my case there is what Maradona was able to do with fruit salad. So I call it the fruit sellers theorem.
Okay. Look, I think people are gonna value when you do more with less, right? Um, but the problem with Maradona's career, he did so few with less, so
Wait,
few
I think wait,
times.
shift a bit more to your right.
Oh wait, hold on.
No. Yeah. To your
Yeah,
middle,
there
a
we
bit
go.
more.
More?
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Cool. Yeah.
Okay, so I think the problem with your statement is that you're right. You know, Maradona was known for doing a lot with very few, but the problem is that he did it so few oftens. So what I mean by that, his three only, well, really two only achievements, they stand out. Like the first title with Napoli and the World Cup, right? Um, Now you say that the Serie was competitive, which it was. I'm not gonna try to,
Mm.
throw any shade at it. It was competitive, but at the same time, it is a time where there was quite a few um new winners as well. Within that time period, Sampdoria had also won their first title. Hellas Verona had also won their first title
Shout
two
tell us,
years
Verona.
before the first. Yeah, so
Hell
I
ass.
mean, so I don't want it to be the situation where people think that it was only Juve, Milan, and Inter Milan winning left, right, and center, and then here comes Napoli. No, there was teams winning,
Mm.
new teams winning. So Maradona was one of the other teams, and then 2 years before Hellas Verona, Roma won their second title. So this is not a time where it was, there was the giants of Italy just consistently winning. There was teams that were winning left, right.
Mm.
Now, I think one of the things when it comes to Argentina, I mean that Napoli team, is that we don't give enough credit to the defense. They had a good defense. Okay, let's not. We're not gonna act like Maradona was playing center defensive striker. Okay, like that. We're not gonna. We're not gonna
But
do
he
that.
inspired them, though. He inspired
I
them.
don't deny that. I don't deny that. I don't deny it. But I'm not here for Disney Plus. I'm here
Okay,
for the combination of everything. There's no denying that without Maradona, they don't get it done, right?
true.
And that's why
Yes.
it's a standout achievement. Now, regardless of Napoli had won it like what 2 3 years ago, I think the fact that Napoli hadn't won a title in 32 years after that last one in the 89 and 90, that's
Mm.
phenomenal. Now we'll get to the World Cup thing because that's really where both of these guys we're mainly have the conversation now
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
Messi. I think you're selling him short in terms of he's only popular with that number 10 Barcelona jersey. Now, while that may be true, I think for the newer generation,
Oh no,
they
no, no, no.
will.
Not only popular, he's more popular, and he'll be
Okay,
more
more
known for
popular.
waiting for Barcelona than Argentina.
Now, here's the thing. I think for the newer generation, they're gonna associate the Argentina number 10 with Messi more so than they did with Maradona.
Yeah, cause
Unfortunately,
cause they're cause they're young whippersnappers. Go look at freaking YouTube, bro. Okay, sorry, whippersnappers. You young youths listening to this podcast or watching this whole thing right now. Go to YouTube and type in Maradona World Cup 1986, and then get back to me. Sorry,
here's the thing.
continue.